the actual YouTube thing boo? Okay. Good morning, gentlemen, ladies, and everyone in between. This is Cayenne's IoT Corner, the inaugural session where we're going to be live. We have some very special guests who are going to help us host this particular session from all over the world. We have Italy, UK, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and we're going to have people tuning in from all over the world. So if you have comments or questions, please use our YouTube chat, which should be in your right channel there, or you can just leave a comment on the YouTube video itself, and we'll do our best to answer them. If we don't answer them during this live show, we'll answer them after. The video will be posted to the YouTube channel after, so you can always view it and view it as many times as you want. So with that, I would like to get started here. I'm just going to share my screen really fast. So yeah, IoT Corner, here we are. And I like to start things off with just a little icebreaker joke, especially with Halloween coming up. So there it is. I'll have you know that some people are terrified of cloud computing, and obviously he's dressed up as a cloud there. Now, on our lineup for today's session, we have Karis Locke. Now, Karis runs a blog and website, Raspberry Pi Stuff, and she is also the Raspberry Pi Jam queen. She goes all throughout the UK, visits Raspberry Pi jams. If you have questions about these jams or anything IoT related, she's your girl. Now, we also have Tanaya Hurst, aka Arduino Woman, aka Rogue Maker, aka that person at all maker fairs that probably is going to be wearing a lighted up dress. So if you've been to a maker fair, maybe you've seen her. Her interests are hardware, education, STEAM, and for those of you viewing who don't know what STEAM is, it stands for science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics, sewing, programming, and soldering. And last but not least, we have Giovanni, who runs OLab in Italy. It's a design space for prototyping, production, all things Internet of Things, and they do trainings as well. He truly is the Italian-style maker. Again, if you have chats, or if you have questions, list them in the chat or the comments section, and we will be sure to answer them. So let's begin. First of all, Karis, do they have, this is probably going to be a stupid question, do they have Halloween in the UK? They do, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Are you going to dress up as like a Raspberry Pi or something?
Pardon, sorry?
Are you going to dress up for Halloween as like a giant Raspberry Pi?
Could do, that's a good idea. Well, there's actually a event down in London this weekend called MozFest. So we're planning on doing a few Halloween-y stuff there, so that should be good. Very
cool. So you've been to a lot of Raspberry Pi jams. Can you tell our audience kind of what to expect at a Raspberry Pi jam and maybe how IoT has become prevalent at these jams?
Like, a Raspberry Pi jam is a massive meeting for geeks, and we all meet up and we show each other projects. For example, at the moment, there's a little lad called I run one as well, and he's using IoT to control a robot, which is fascinating. And I've seen, originally he didn't know what a Raspberry Pi was, so he's built on all the robotics and all the stuff that he had originally, and he's 3D printed the chassis and everything. So I like, everything's been helpful for that, and the community's helped him as well.
Very cool. And what's your Raspberry Pi jam like? You said you host one, right?
Yeah, I do. It's sort of quite a small meetup at the moment. We've got about 20. It's once a month, and people come along and try and have fun and do lots of different projects. And yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Cool. Do you have like a project with you by chance that you can just talk about or show?
Unfortunately, not at the moment. Like I said, we're working on the robot with Harry, but I haven't got it with me. And we're doing some other stuff with IoT and Python and Scratch, but unfortunately I have nothing to show you at the moment.
Yeah. Is it mostly like new people to Raspberry Pi that comes to these jams to learn about Raspberry Pi, or is it really you're really hardcore tech guys, you're developers who are building these massive, very complicated projects?
It's sort of both ends of the scale and everywhere in between. Like there's a lot of people there, and they're all from different experience levels. Like I said, the little lad Harry had no experience at all with Raspberry Pis, and now he's built a robot. There's another one called Jack, and he's built a print server on a Raspberry Pi. And yeah, there's several different people, and there's something called Pi Wars in the UK, down in Cambridge, and there was a group of people making a team to go and do that there last time. So yeah.
Very cool. Is it so? What if I wanted to join? I've never been to a Raspberry Pi Jam. If I wanted to go out and join one, I'm in Los Angeles here. Do they have them in Los Angeles or all over the world?
They have them all over the world, so you could probably find one.
Okay. Could I start my own?
Yep. That's what I did.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool. So, Sanaya, are you there? Are you in the video feed?
I am here.
So tell us a little bit about what you're doing. There's a lot of lights, there's a lot of things going on, and it's very interesting.
Well, good morning, everyone. I am really interested in all of this stuff. This maker fair, this maker movement, learning about electricity. And thank you so much for having me, Benny, and my devices. It's a cool chance to meet new people across the world of the internet.
Woo!
So yes, I got interested in Arduino working at a place called the Tech Museum in San Jose. And then through the Tech Museum, I got to work at a maker fair for the first time. And it was really one of those where I felt I had lived under a rock, because I am from the Bay Area. I don't know why I didn't know it was going on, but it combines like real science, of course, with creativity. And everyone is working so hard. I remember like my first few years, I was like, I am so exhausted, but I love doing this. And then as soon as you feel that, you look around and see 50 people working way harder than you. And so it's such a community effort.
Awesome. So hey, Karis, do they ever have Arduinos at the Raspberry Pi Jams, or is it just Pi?
We do have a bit of Arduino. I couldn't tell you one right now off the top of my head, but we have a bit of everything there, just to go and play and yeah.
Got it. So very cool in the Raspberry Pi Jams. So Tanaya, we just learned a little bit about like what a Raspberry Pi Jam is. Now, switching over to a maker fair, you have probably been to a ton of maker fairs, from the very small ones, which they call mini maker fairs, all the way up to San Jose, New York maker fairs. For those who haven't been to a maker fair, what could we expect to see, experience, and do at these maker fairs?
Well, I just got back from one on Sunday, the East Bay Mini Maker Fair, and it really is the greatest show and tell on earth. I love that tagline of it. And it's part country fair or state fair, part science fair, and part something entirely new. So of course you're gonna see your robots. You're gonna see your 3D printed cars. You're gonna see amazing things with like paper and cardboard. And then totally weird things like a robot that dispenses sand, and it's like writing Shakespeare's sonnets, but like as it goes through the maker fair, like just total wonkiness. And especially at our big San Mateo Maker Fair, the best part is the dark room, because then you can wear your fabulous LEDs everywhere you go. And Halloween is coming up. So one of the most fun things you can do is sew some lights into one of your costumes or into an accessory, because then you can be seen better at night.
So it's for safety purposes, right?
Purely for safety, Benny, of course. But that's what I like to inspire kids about STEAM is that wearable tech, it can be fun and glamorous, like obviously what I'm into, but it's also can be like for astronauts, it can be for healthcare, it can be for sports, you know, it can be for the military. So, you know, there's a lot of directions you can go with it.
Hey, Arduino woman, we have a question from one of the viewers. He'd like to know what Arduino you use to light up so many LEDs and how many pins at the most you use.
This is a great question, Vu. I also had a friend say, Tanaya, what's your favorite pin? I was like, that's the funniest question. So I love to use just a good old Arduino Uno. I have a lot of projects that actually only need 4 pins. For Arduini, for example, he's just running on, you know, 1 pin for power and ground. Sometimes how I hook it up with an external power. And then you got to have your PWM 910 and a lot. But you can also add like an IC chip, so you don't have to add like a full-on other Arduino. But our new Arduinos, Arduino Primo, that's going to have the same amount of pins as an Uno. So that's usually all I need.
Cool. So what about some of the newer, because I know Arduino's coming out or has come out with like some new boards. Have you integrated those into some of your wearable projects? Like I think there's a Bluetooth board or something.
Definitely. We have a new board that what I love about what Arduino does is they make the same board but in 2 form factors. So we have a traditional form factor for Arduino Primo, which is Bluetooth and has NFC. I bet you guys are going to be excited about that. But then I'm excited about the other form factor, which is called the Primo Core. And it'll be a wearable the size of a coin cell, because that's what's also cool. It runs off of 3.3 volts. But I can't wait to get my hands on those so I can have Bluetooth controlled wearables.
Woo! Very cool. I mean, it looks very well put, like the clothes and things. But for instance, the skull shirt. How long did that take you to actually put together and make it to what it is right now?
Well, for any of you out there who want to get started with sewing with conductive thread, there is going to be a threshold of learning. And that's what I try to get folks to, you know, get accustomed to, because it is hand sewing. And that's annoying and frustrating in, you know, any setting, you know, can be. But the conductive thread makes it more annoying. So I do a lot of prototyping and designing and drawing how I'm going to actually sew it. And I hide stitches in the t-shirt's design so that you make sure that the conductive thread doesn't touch each other. So I can whip out a cool t-shirt, like a little project like this you guys can see the back of. Maybe this is a little bit harder because it's a white shirt, but just a little thing like that, I could do that in like a half hour. But, you know, for some of the kids I first start to teach, that might take like a 5-day, you know, summer camp program to complete because of the failure. But don't be afraid of the failure. All the shirts I've made, once they're working, they stay working and you can wash them.
No way, that's pretty cool. Very cool. Well, thanks, Tanaya. Giovanni, I wanted to go now kind of move to what you're working on in Italy over there. Now, you're at a makerspace right now, right? Can you give us a little tour and talk about actually where you are?
Yeah, I am in Italy. It's 7:15 p.m. and this is Yatta Maker Fair. Yeah, make like a Fab Lab. Fab Lab is a place where you can make objects, ideas, where you can share your ideas, like project with Arduino, 3D printing, laser cutting, and like this. And for Cayenne tonight, I have a gift for you. It's Pix, my little project with some LEDs. Can you see?
Yeah, very cool. Now,
Okay.
did you post a link for people to check out how you did that project on the YouTube?
Yeah, yes, my gift is a complete is a code for this kind of project. This is a NeoPixel strip, and I am cutting the NeoPixel strip
Wow.
for make a matrix, because a matrix is really expensive for me.
Yeah, yeah. So
And
tonight I
this
see your face like lighting up right now. What do you think of that? That seems pretty cool for your realm of things.
Oh, you're gonna see my face lighting up, all right. We got to talk matrices someday.
Okay, for the last questions, on the pin of Arduino, no? If you use NeoPixel strip, you can use only one pixel, only one pin, and ground, VCC, and one pin for control, like this.
Wow.
Only one pin for control this.
What are you using to power it? Is that a mini?
5 volts powered, and 74 LEDs, RGB LEDs.
Mm.
For my project, I use a lot of NeoPixel for my lights project. I use also RGB pixel, RGB LED, but for the RGB LEDs, you can drive this with 3 connectors. If you have LEDs that have a common ground, do you have all after other 3 pins, each for 1 colors? One for red, one for green, one for blue. In NeoPixel, it's different, because it's a library that drive the pixel, the pixel like LEDs. No? You know, in my code you can, yeah.
Which libraries do you use?
Adafruit NeoPixel library. Yes.
We have a question. Sorry, once you're done with the other question, I'm sorry I interrupted. We have a question from William asking how much current is the power supply?
Okay. Now I use this kind of power supply. It's a battery charger for smartphone, no? And use this is a common USB. This USB
looks great.
Yes, it's good for power supply, Arduino, and 74 LEDs. I've worked on this little matrix because it's a prototype for a big matrix. There is a link on my article in the description. For the big LED matrix, I have used a power supply of 6 amps, for 5 volts. Because in the other projects, the big matrix, the big one matrix, is 1,000 LEDs. In this case, do you have a lot of power?
Yeah, that's a lot of LEDs. Where's that project gonna live? Like, what's the purpose of that?
Why the project with LEDs? I think for the for the lighting. Like a baby. I am like a baby, you know. Or when I see a light, I'm excited for this.
Got it. Very cool.
Giovanni, one quick question from Ekowahu Susilo. He wanted to know if there's a NeoPixel strip for 3.3 volts.
No, I use this NeoPixel in 5 volts. Why 3.3?
I'm not sure. I'll ask him.
Yes.
But
Yeah, I think the 5 volts is the better, because the Arduino, this is an Arduino Nano. Arduino Nano work on 5 volts. This is a battery for charging phone. It's a 5 volts. It's 5 volts.
So, Karis, are these some of the projects that you guys work at your Raspberry Pi jams?
What did you say? Sorry.
Could these be a project that, like the Giovanni's LED matrix NeoPixel, is that something that you guys would work on at a Raspberry Pi jam, but just with Raspberry Pis, or is it mostly robotics and things of that sort?
No, it's definitely, we do all sorts of projects, and I know a guy up in a place called Preston. He does a lot with NeoPixels and lights, so that's definitely something that we could consider doing as together project, or not necessarily, or some people do like doing stuff on their own. So definitely, it's quite a cool project.
Cool.
And Karis, we had a question from one of the users asking to see more of the makerspace on your desk.
Well, I have many things on this desk at the moment. I have a robot here that I've built that isn't quite finished. So we have a line sensor there and a Raspberry Pi with lots and lots of wires, and a battery pack to power the 2 motors for the wheels. And that's one of the little projects I'm working on at the moment. And I'm quite organized with this desk. I'm proud of myself. I've got quite a few Raspberry Pis. So this is a Model 2B with a Sense Hat on. And a Sense Hat is an add-on board for the Raspberry Pi, originally made to go on the ISS with Tim Peake. And there's loads of stuff here.
And how many monitors do you have? Do you have like a whole command center set up there?
This is one machine at the moment. It's a nearly dual boot machine. It's currently got Windows on at the moment, but Linux will be there. And I've got another monitor just here as well, which you can't see.
Dang.
And by the way, I wanted to give a shout out to Aswath Gee, who just mentioned that he or she won 2nd place at the IIT Madras University Science Expo using Cayenne.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. I'll ask him what he built.
Yeah, you should do that. Tanaya, do you have any other cool like wearable things to show?
Oh, sure. I can, of course, show you guys what I'm going to be working on coming up. Well, I mean, I always have my LED shades, which is something I'm working on just to, you know, make cool codes and logos or patterns that, you know, I want to try. But also, we're going to add a module on the side that is sound reactive, which is like the jewelry that I like to wear everywhere.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, I didn't notice that.
Well, if you were a student in my class, sometimes they call it out like, wait, is your necklace, you know, but it's really cool. So now my jewelry and my shades will have like the mimicking pattern, because there are events like Burning Man and, you know, just fun California, San Francisco things we do. And so these all, or they will react to music. And I kind of like that because no diss to other wearables that are just like blinking repetitively. Like we all have bought cool things in the past, but as a viewer of that wearable tech, it is distracting. So I know this can be distracting too. believe me. But the thing about it is that it's just at least not repetitive. You know, it's like it'll go with the music, so it's part of the moment. It's really special.
Hey, Tanaya, Nemoaton asked if you would show that a little bit closer.
Sure. Get on in there.
That's a great reaction time too. Look at that thing.
Oh yeah. And they kind of shimmer. And the batteries last 150 hours. So that's also awesome for wearables, because some wearables I have, like my Epic skirt, it doesn't last like with certain batteries, and I've got to have like extras all the time, and you know, be a little concerned backstage at fashion shows, like, am I going to have enough battery? But with this jewelry, with the t-shirts I sew, you don't have to worry about that. The batteries last a really long time, so you can just have it on.
Have you ever shocked yourself? So here's a personal experience. I've worn a shirt that had a whole bunch of wires. I ended up shocking myself, and I got burned. I imagine you have had to have an experience like that.
I am so sorry, Benny. I have never had that happen. I mean, definitely one time my skirt broke right before a big event, and my two friends at this hackathon in Vegas helped solder it on me. But other than that, no, the conductive thread should not shock you. It should not, you know, nullify the circuit or anything like that. I mean, I don't wear like a long sleeve shirt under the t-shirt or anything. But parents do ask me that, and they also want to know if it'll just give you like a rash or something. But I have never had either of those happen.
Got it. Yeah, I wasn't using conductive thread, so that's probably why. Can you just buy the conductive thread anywhere, like on Amazon, or go to your store or something?
Well, there are conductive threads, but I got a good hookup, because there are many kinds. Of course, there's cotton, there's nylon, and then there's stainless steel, there's silver. So you can try out different things. What we're all trying to achieve is thread that doesn't drop the resistance so much, because currently we're losing 50 ohms a foot. And the LEDs I use have a resistor also. So you can't really have your battery on your shoulder and expect to light up something in a jumpsuit down by your legs. So there's some limits to that.
Cool. And you mentioned you do classes. Are these classes just in, like, I guess you might go to different locations, but do you ever do online classes and do like an online session where you walk people through virtually, or are you always physically doing these classes?
Well, I definitely love to help people make fun things. So I do find myself actually teaching people a lot. And, you know, I mean, I'm sure the other makers can agree, like maybe that was a route for some people, you know, or yourself, but you know, that's how I learned how to do everything and see the failures in volume and be able to help people. And it's always been enriching. Obviously, it's a huge effort, you know, to make schedules, always be there, bring all the materials. Don't forget your alligator clips. You know, it's a lot of effort, but it's been so enriching. And even I always think of a workshop I taught at the border of Vermont and Canada. And somehow I got this guy to drive me there and all this stuff. But I saw like one of the most epic things there. And from just, you know, one of 10 little kids I'm teaching in the snow. And it's like, you know, it's always worth it for me.
Good. Very good. So it is now 10:30. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's session. So Tanaya, Karis, Giovanni, thank you so much for sharing some of the things today. And for our audience, the people who are viewing, if you have questions, these guys are experts in their community: Raspberry Pi, Arduino, LED, matrices, designing, prototyping, going to production, maker spaces, all of the above. So leave your questions in the comments of this video. We'll make sure to answer them. And if you have something you'd like to share, go ahead and let us know. We're going to be doing this probably bi-weekly, so we'd love to have you on this show. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.